little faith in me. And when your secret heart cannot speak so easily, coming down from a whisper star, to have a little faith in me.
We're streaming.
Oh,
We are going.
we're going. Keep playing guitar, Tim.
Little faith in me. And when your secret heart cannot speak so easily, coming down from a whisper
Matthew,
star,
hello out there.
to have a little faith in me. And when your back's against the wall, just turn around and you'll see I will catch you, I will catch you fall. So have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me, baby. Have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me.
Hello, Vince. Hey everybody, yeah, thanks for joining me. We have some new technology that makes our streaming pretty high quality, I think, and I have so much gratitude to you guys for supporting the Masterclass and staying in with me. We have some big news. We're actually creating a new website. Probably take about 3 months to get it going, but it's going to be much more organized and much more modern, and we have to upload over 1,000 videos to get jobby, and so that's all happening behind the scenes. So I feel like these live streams might be a way to connect with you guys in the meantime and give you something extra that's yours. I'm actually going to do this again at 11 on YouTube, but it'll be a much more condensed version, more to the point and less involved, less depth. So what this is. And yeah, I will do it often. Yes, for you guys. Yes, absolutely. What this is a Joe Cocker song that I played on in 1994. And it was the first Joe Cocker record I did. I looked on allmusic.com and I am on 10 Joe Cocker records. 4 of those are compilations, so they don't so much count. So it's really 6. I was in the studio with Joe 6 times at different times in his over the course of 20 years, doing records, and it was always awesome. He was a true gentleman, and for me, I grew up listening to Mad Dogs and Englishmen, so to be in the studio with someone like that was a dream come true for me. And this was a good one. This was it's a song called "Have a Little Faith" by John Hyatt. And, this song was cut a lot of different times by different people, but it was one of Joe's bigger hits in the 90s, and the arrangement is really good. Although, we discovered that it had been VSO'd. Now, I don't know if you guys know what that is, but on analog tape, they would decide, oh, this needs to be a little faster, a little more energy, and they would just turn the master up a little bit, and then of course, then you can't tune to it because the pitch raises up, everything raised up. So that's what happened with this. So I worked and I kind of tuned this by ear. So if you try and play along with this with your guitar, it will not be in tune. And I just chose one guitar to kind of get, it's got to be like at 448 or something like that. And, I'm going to start on the second verse here and show you kind of what I did. Always the second verse for a guitar player in the studio is a place to expand and add the most creative stuff. Usually the first verse is stripped down, and indeed this is that way. In the first verse, all you hear is me doing acoustic strums on the downbeats. And then in the chorus, I play my chorus part, which is a very kind of Steve Cropper, Hendrixy kind of thing. The guitars on this song, you can't really hear that well unless you put headphones on. And that's the case with a lot of guitars on pop records and rock records. Really, the answer is in the headphones, because once you put the headphones on, you can hear that they have the guitar panned all the way to one side, and you can hear all the parts pretty clearly. And you put down the headphones and put it in speakers, it all kind of washes. So I recommend headphones when you want to hear guitar parts on production songs. So when we get to the second verse, let me play it for you. I'm going to turn the pre-roll off so it goes right to it.
Have a little faith in me. And when your secret heart cannot speak.
So the primary guitar part here that enters is... And that's to create something extra in the second verse. It's always a goal. You'll hear this in a lot of songs. And that's my desire to be a percussion player. I mean, like, you know, just playing a percussion part on the guitar, basically. It's a drone. You know, the song is in G flat, so I've tuned the guitar down to G flat, and also with that custom tuning where it's a little bit sharp. Yeah. Hello, guys. Hi, Bert. So it's tuned a little sharp, but it's, if a song is in a flat key, and you'll see this with most studio musicians, guitar players, they'll tune down so you can get the cowboy chords. You know, you can put a capo on it, but if a song is in G flat, you just tune down and then it's in G, and then your mind just sees all the most simple cowboy chords, and you can really kind of dance with it because everything is normal. So what this is a percolating percussion part. And that would still be the right thing to do on any like Nashville country song today, you know, it's the same kind of thing. And then what happens halfway through the verse, this is maybe my favorite guitar moment in the song, is halfway through the verse.
I will catch you falling. So have a little faith in me. And have a little.
I went past it. Okay, here we go.
Just.
So what happens in the second half of the verse, there's another guitar that comes in and allows this guitar to play less and be more free. So that's something you should think about too when you're putting guitar parts together. This, in the first part of the verse, had to do full duty. But because in the second half of the verse an arpeggio guitar came in, I could be free with this and just leave gaps and kind of dance in and out of it. I'll show you. So the second guitar part was... But imagine that with a much thinner tone, probably 2 Stratocasters panned left and right with a little bit of chorusing on it. So that created a bed where I didn't have to play constantly on the tracking part. And I'll show you what I did.
And when your back's against the wall.
Okay, that's a little late again. I've got to go back. Here we go.
Coming down from a whisper star to have a little faith in me.
So I broke out of it and did this fill, and I remember I can do it like this. It's a stretch. And you think about how simple this is. It's just it's just walking down the major scale. But when I did this nice rub, and that way all those early notes can blend together. So I'm doing this. And because the arpeggiated guitar is covering underneath, you don't miss the absence of percolation. Then there's another moment that comes next that I really like.
Coming wonder from a whisper star to have a little faith in me. And when your back's against the wall,
and then I go, and that rhythm part, I wish I had kept doing that because I love that. It adds a really strong kind of syncopation. And it only happens once, but I kind of wish I had kind of just kept doing it.
to have a little faith in me. And when your back's against the wall,
I love that moment because you got the arpeggiated guitar kind of going underneath and then this rhythmic thing.
and when your back's against the wall, just turn around and you'll see I will catch you.
Space there.
I will catch you fall.
Then, now there was a space there where nothing happened, and it could be that in the studio after I recorded it, they decided to scoop that out and not use it because people, they play with your parts afterwards. So maybe they left that hole, maybe I left that hole, or they took away something I did that maybe was a little distracting from the vocal. You never
And
know.
you'll see I will catch you. I will catch you fall. So have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me, baby.
So the chorus part, the chorus chords are very simple. It's G, D over F sharp, E minor, then G over D, and then C, and then C over D. So basically, but the upper chords are kind of a classic thing. G, D, E minor, G again over D, C, C again over D, and then back to the line. So my choice on the tracking date for this was to do the Hendrixy croppery thing. Right? That's over the G. Comes to the D, same thing. And then just I could sit on the E minor. And then my favorite moment is when it drops there. Let's listen so I don't get ahead of myself.
Fall. So have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me, baby. Have a little faith in
Yeah. So when it lands on the D, the G over D, I turn it into kind of a G6 and G major 7th because, let's see if I can get a G drone going and show you this. B. That's not great. It kind of creates a G major 7 over that, and I like it. It's kind of a rich tonality. I always love major 7s. And this creates a major 7 also. That's the way to demonstrate it. These nice dissonances with the major 7th. So back to the part. And on the C over D, I always stay simple there. I just stay right where I am and just pound the C chord. There's stuff you can do. I learned from other guitar players that there's times to be creative and step out and do something, and there are other times when all you have to do is go, or you can do the dumbest thing, and as long as you're doing some interesting stuff in spots around it, it actually works great because it's good to retreat and just do kind of a pad. And this is an example of that. So on the G chord, creative. On the D chord, creative. On the E minor, not so creative. I'm just going. And then when it comes to G over D, I do the most creative thing, probably. Goes to the C. And probably the least creative part is when it goes to C over D, I just go. But that way you move forward and you disappear at certain times. And I saw other guitar players do this. You know, if they didn't have an idea for a certain part, they would just hit the note. And that's okay as long as you're doing other stuff around it. And then this, of course, that line, you know, I kind of crave some harmony. So it could be, but that wouldn't be right for the song. So that's a point where guitar, like I watched Bohemian Rhapsody last night, and Brian May, as he's doing this brilliant stuff, sometimes he just plays a single note line on some of his, you know. So there's nothing more effective sometimes than just doubling the bass, and you know it's nothing to be afraid of, really. Just doing something really, really simple. You can find your spots to step out and show off elsewhere. Oh, everybody asks about the entrance to the cockpit, and there's a space right there. You can see it. It's right there. That's it, right there. Boom. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 feet, maybe 16 inches, and you just can't see it on this camera. But you can see it. Nigel, can you switch over to the rack cam? It's right there. There we go. So okay. So I have a delay, so I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing, but that's the place right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love this setup. The only thing is that it is really easy to ding the top of a guitar, and I have an old Martin that I basically have ruined the top of because I used to bring it in here and do sessions, and you know, it's a big acoustic, so I go. But I'm really careful now. I don't want. It's funny. PRSs do not look good when they're relic. Every guitar looks good when it's relic, but PRSs, for some reason, it just doesn't work. So I try and keep them. I don't mind if the back gets messed up, but I try and keep PRSs, keep the tops from getting messed up. It's weird. Oh, Tinker from Berkey, Tinker Bell. Hello there. Albuquerque, Breaking Bad. Yeah, I went to Albuquerque and I went to the Breaking Bad house last time I was there. It was awesome. I was actually kind of nervous, and I walked up to it. I was like, whoa. Anyway, let's look at the solo. Actually, no. Let me just show you the chorus in context. Show you this part that I just demonstrated.
Have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me, baby. Have a little faith in me, and have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me.
Now that's not a bad solo. I've played worse solos. It's pretty cool. I would do something a little different on the end of it that I'll explain to you if I was doing it present day. But they did an interesting thing here. In this arrangement, they went up a fifth for the solo. So, and then it's just the chorus chords in the key of D, which is pretty brilliant. They also do that at the end, and he sings over it, which is a credit to him, because for a singer to sing in a key a fifth away from the original key is sometimes hard, especially somebody like Joe who doesn't have the biggest range in the world, but he pulled it off. So this solo is in the key of D with the same chords as the chorus, same chord sequence, and they use it during the solo and at the ending. It's a good way to make a simple song have a little extra something to it. And modulations sometimes are pretty corny, but this one isn't, because it just sneaks in just right, and it's a fifth above rather than the worst one is the one that's a half step above. I don't think you ever want to do that kind of thing again. But
And have a little faith in.
okay, let's move to the solo. Okay, here we go.
And have a little faith in.
So that's cool, I guess. Repeating something with variations, that's always a good thing, I think. It's like a conversation, Let's see what happens next. I love that. And I do this thing across the strings, which, picking hard. I'm going to get a little more distortion on this for the solo. So we got major pentatonic, like Allman Brothers, and then slipping into the blues, which I really like. Because I feel like if you do something sweet, it's nice to combine it with something tough. Love this. Partly because it lands on the A over C in a really good way. See the A right there? Then I go into blues. So a little bit of targeting of chord tones here. This is all in D, and then it lands on the A. Let's see what's next. So this is a single note. It's not a double stop. Let's listen again. Yeah. Then I drop down to B minor pentatonic. See that? And there's a thrown away A note there too, which I like. So what I would change at the end of this solo, it's kind of melodic. I come up here and play a D arpeggio. Hi from Las Vegas, Robert. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. So you see the D chord up here, right? And it's a short solo, so I'm coming up high to end it. And I kind of walk through the D arpeggio here. So there's the D chord, adding in one note. And then I do a simple scale thing. And that's the part that I wish I had done differently. Let's listen to it. Let's see. I think that's it. But I can hear it's on the high E string. So you got to realize I'm under the gun. When I'm doing a solo, there's people sitting around me. You're in the control room. Yeah, it's great. Let's do a solo. Can't wait. And it's like they're sitting there waiting. They want you to get it in the first take. And it's okay if you take a couple of takes, but you can't let the confidence drop. So it's like it's the most hairy feeling, because you're in a room with these people who are producing and writing and making the record, and you got to deliver the solo immediately. So you do whatever you can to get it done. For me to drop down, I hear the timbre of it, and I am on the E string, and I was probably just get the end of this solo, because the end is always crucial too. The end is the most crucial part of it, And it's not bad, but I'll show you what I would do differently if I could. Now, you have to remember also that when you're working with people, hey, you guys have some interesting names, Baby Bo and Belle. Hello from sunny Seattle. It's cold here in LA. It's like in the low 40s. Okay, so even if I had, in the moment, if I thought this was too melodic, and I do, I think it's too melodic. The people you're working with make the decisions. And so I was in the room with Chris Lord-Alge, Joe Cocker, Roger Davies, maybe C.J. Vanson was there. And if they hear something they like, it's done. And maybe you go, can I try it again? They go, nah, it's done. And if you do say you're going to try it again, that throws some doubt on it. You don't necessarily want to do that. So if you do something, and they go, yeah, and they touchdown, you kind of go, yeah, even though you'd rather sit with it and do it 18 more times and get it just the way you want it, you have to go, okay, that's the session, that's the job. They want this to happen quickly. So here's what I would do if I was able to do it again. I would drop down and do that bluesy thing. Now I'm just going to play over the track and I'll demonstrate to you. Let me jump in. I need some pre-roll. Okay, I'll do that a little better. Not quite good. No, that lapsed into a little too much out of the scale. Try again. Maybe that's why they wouldn't let me redo it, because I couldn't deliver it. So let me see if I can deliver this thing I'm talking about. So what I'm trying to do is that would be good. Let me try and do that. Try that. Like that. Or like that too. So if I had it to do again, I would do a little more bluesy thing on the end. But you never know. The people in the room might have gone, no, we like the melodic thing. You're there. It's always a collaboration, and you're trying to make everybody happy. It's his record. So now back to the original key.
And you can no longer see.
No guitars. Sneak in. And what I hear in here that you don't necessarily hear unless you put headphones on. A little volume swell. In tune up here. Let me see if I can tune it. So volume swells. This is the breakdown. So what happens is this is even often smaller than the intro. When they do a breakdown, you want to just do colors. And so if you put headphones on, you can hear colors. I'm doing volume swells. Now, I'm not using a tuner, so bear with me. And I'm also doing harmonics. colors. And those are very random and very spontaneous.
Throw a spark.
And then this. Basically the lower cousin of this. Right, little answer.
And have a little faith in me. Girl,
Hear that? Little build.
and have a little faith in me. Girl, have a little faith in me.
Back to the chorus part.
And me. Have a little faith in me. And have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. I've been loving you for such a long time.
So now we're at the outro, which is back to the other key. So it's D, here we go, D, A over C sharp, B minor, and then dropping B minor over A, and then G over A. And this is fun because now you're in a position where you can just do some fills around the vocal. I'll do some spontaneous ones right now.
Girl, have a little faith in me. And me. Have a little faith in me. And have a little faith in me.
Still in the key of G.
Have a little faith in me.
Now we go to D.
I've been loving you for such a long time, girl. That's the power of love. Have a little faith in me.
Now there's a good point. Even though I want to play that lick on the record, it's disrespectful to Joe because he's not going to sing that. He doesn't want that kind of thing on his record. You're basically there to create a mood around his vocals. So you want to match the vocal in intensity. And I've made that mistake before. I looked at films of myself on stage. And the singer sings something and I go, thinking of, and I'm going, oh God, that's so out of place. Really, the thing you got to do is kind of play the blues with Joe.
Have a little faith in me. I've been loving you for such a long time, girl. That's the power of love. Have a little faith in me. Give up time. Time is our friend. Have a little faith in me. I will love you. I love you. Got a little faith
You want to do that, but you can't. You just got to go and just kind of be Joe's partner in the vocal. So anyway, this was a really fun thing, and Chris Ordalgi and Roger Davies produced it. It was the first record I did with Joe, and I kept working with Joe all the way through 2012. And I've got lots of songs. 6 records I did with him. There's probably 50 songs I could demonstrate that I recorded with Joe Cocker. So there can be lots more of these. Once again, for you guys, we're going to create a new masterclass. We're doing it right now on Kajabi that is going to be really modern and beautiful and organized. And so we're working furiously behind the scenes to start that. It'll probably be about 3 months before it's up and running. And I will do more of these for you guys. I'm going to go to... enjoying the daylight savage? Okay. Aw, that's so nice. Thank you so much, man. Grover, I need to get different glasses to see the small lettering. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, so this is, I've got lots of these that I've done for a living. And for you guys in the masterclass, I'm going to try and do some really, really long, informal live live streams while we're building the other website, because I'm not necessarily going to be adding a lot of new content to the existing masterclass because we're focusing on the new thing. So I'll be doing this regularly. What I'll do is I'll send you guys emails announcing these, but if you miss one, they're all going to be on this ghost channel, which is actually probably going to get a little more known. But they're all going to be hidden on this channel, and you guys will have the links only to this second channel that's where all these masterclass videos will appear, and you can revisit them and watch them anytime. They'll be archived. But what I'm going to do now, if you guys want to join, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to go on YouTube on my main channel and do a short abbreviated version of what I just did. Won't be as in-depth. But yeah, this is really fun and easy, and I'll be back soon. Well, thank you guys so much for your support. Like I say, we're gonna keep making the masterclass bigger and better and adding stuff. And I'm excited about the new thing. It's going to be really, really a nice modern upgrade. So, guys, thank you. I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you on my main channel in 24 minutes if you feel like joining again and watching another shorter version of this. Thanks a lot. I'll play while Nigel signs us out.
When the road gets dark, you can no longer see. Let my love throw a
All right, did you turn it
spark.
off?